let's go back a little bit because I have a sister has schizophrenic, became schizophrenic. Well,
Mhm.
not became, she was diagnosed
Yes, correct.
with it. And I'm gonna show you the difference with healthcare. We're gonna go there for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And its connection to illnesses like that. I saw my younger sister go through these different stages, but I was young, so I didn't really dive deep into what was going on because we have different moms. Her mom was supposed to handle that along with my dad. It wasn't until years later that she went to Fairbanks and I went there and she remembered who I was, but not at first. And that's when I decided, to take a deep look in what was really going on, knowing the fact that she had two beautiful sons, the medication such as Haldose and stuff. And when I started researching, I said, this is what they give horses. This, like tranquilizers and so forth. But I remember the shift change. People fail to realize back in the East, she had a nurse that would come to her place of residence to administer medication. She didn't really confide in me what she was taking because that's, I guess my sister would have had to give her that permission. But I remember years later, that program was taken away. Indiana did have a program to address those issues. When that program went away, all hell broke loose.
Yes. Well, it all started in the 60s, actually. Kennedy had a great idea about wanting to have the mentally ill with the family, but that's actually where most of the homeless come from because we're losing institutions. And
Mhm.
for something that mental illness is probably one of the most widespread diseases, but if you can't see it, then people don't think it exists. And unless you've dealt with it personally, uh, it doesn't really affect people. And then there's also the revolving door policy. A lot of the individuals are on state aid. And there's only so much that the state can fund and federal aid. And actually they're closing down a lot of hospitals, but that's why there's the revolving door policy because when you come to acute care units like
Yeah.
an inpatient or an outpatient, they're literally there just to stabilize the systems, but since there's that breakdown in the healthcare community, they don't have anybody to monitor them to take their meds, the inability to afford the medications. So it's not like the healthcare professionals aren't doing their very best. Their hands are tied because they really are trying to stabilize and, try and do safe discharges. But, a lot of the population that has mental disease is homeless or on fixed
It makes
incomes.
me wonder, now that you brought this up, what actually happened to those patients that was diagnosed that went to Central State in Indiana, those hospitals that went down? I know they had a lot of mismanagement, that they had nurses and doctors that was,
Well, I'll be honest with you, in that time frame, that was actually a very dark time frame in mental health. So here, picture this, because I actually did a thesis on this for my speech, and it was about the history of mental illness. And my youngest, I took her to Central State because it's in our family history, and I wanted her to see that. Did you know, like in the 14 and FIDS, people could actually go into the mental asylums and actually look at the mental patients and mock them?
yeah.
Yeah. So in the Victorian era is when stuff started to actually shift. You saw a change in the hospitals, like the sanatorium in Kentucky and out here. They had a good policy that people needed sunlight, they needed open. So they were right. A woman, and I actually have material on this about Sigmund Freud, but a woman could actually, if she talked back to her husband, could be institutionalized for hysteria. A lot of people who were considered indigent, like your alcoholics, the mentally delayed, so on and so forth, could be institutionalized. And no matter how much they tried to go ahead and separate, you had like the true criminally insane it's been a very broken system from the start.